Hi everyone, my name is Guadalupe and I will be doing this presentation on Chapter 4, Ensuring Students Understand Instruction in the book Inclusion Strategies for Secondary Classrooms by M.C. Gore. In this chapter, we talk about how teachers must make sure that students are understanding them properly. Um, in most cases, many instructors believe that what they are saying is being processed by the student successfully, but we can we must never assume that the student understands us. We have to make sure we take the proper steps in order for a student to understand us. In this chapter, 5 key steps are discussed. Key 1, to gain students' full attention. Key 2, provide written and oral instruction. Key 3, repeat instructions. Key 4, chunk instructions. And Key 5, solicit helpbacks and show mess. And in this presentation, I will be going in depth and describing each key. In Key 1, we must gain the students' full attention. It is important to have students focus their attention on us while we give directions. When we have students' full and undivided attention, confusion is eliminated. One way of getting a student's attention is by using the 2Q system. This strategy has been used at all levels, including the graduate level. We teach students from the first day that the signal for getting quiet and attending is raising our hand at the front of the classroom. First, the first student who recognizes us, that we have our hands risen, stops talking immediately. Once that student stops talking, other students will notice, and eventually they will all become quiet, and there will be a period of silence. Another attention getter is the eyes and ears on me chant. In this chant, we point to our eyes and our ears, and finally, in the middle of our chest while saying the chant, eyes and ears on me. We say the chant 3 times to ensure that everyone has processed it. Only when we have everybody's eyes do we give the instructions. This is a two-part strategy that ensures that students with difficulty shifting attention are engaged and ready to receive instruction. Key 2 talks about providing written and oral instructions. Students learn in different ways, which is why it is important to cater to the students' needs. What teachers call giving directions, researchers call procedural discourse. Procedural discourse has attracted less attention from researchers than coordinated forms of discourse, um, such as narrative, expository, argumentative, and descriptive. Some students have better auditory perception and other students have better visual perception. Students with poor visual perception need oral directions to supplement for the written directions. Providing both serves the needs of all students and is effective, efficient, and it just benefits the class overall. When instructions are written on a handout or book or worksheets, it is important for the teacher to read the directions aloud. And when the teacher is providing oral directions for an activity, he or she needs to write them on the board, an overhead or a PowerPoint slide before she gives them orally. By providing written and oral instruction, this ensures that every student is given the proper tools to be able to understand. By providing oral and written instructions, helps students with ELN succeed because perception improves with multi-coding information. Confusion is eliminated when perception is supported. Sequencing is facilitated when students both hear and see instructions, and frustration is reduced when students understand what they are supposed to do. Thus, this lowers the level of anxiety in the student and makes learning a much more easier task to do. And since students are more relaxed, they are more willing to um, participate in the classroom and engage. Key number 3 talks about repeating instructions. Repetition priming is important because it increases the brain's ability to attend and learn new material. Repeating instructions is essential for ELM students. Students with ELN have a biological neurologic basis for their disabilities, and denying them the simple accommodations that would assist them is illogical. Meeting students' needs are important and essential for increasing students' ability to carry out assignments as demonstrated in the following. Sequencing is facilitated when students have more than one opportunity to listen to steps of an assignment. Confusion is eliminated when students are repeatedly exposed to directions. Memory is enhanced by multiple exposures. And again, frustration is reduced when confusion is eliminated. Some other research found in Pug and colleagues 2008 material, they noted that repetition is one of the factors that will increase activation in the brains of people with dyslexia. In Worsdale and colleagues 2005 investigated the use of repetition by improving the readings of adults with developmental disabilities. When the participants incorrectly read a word, they were asked to repeat the correct word either once or multiple times. The participants learned more sight words than the multiple response procedure than with the single response procedure. Key number 4 talks about chunk instructions. Chunking is a strategy recommended as a universal design for learning by the Center for Applied Special Technology. Chunking is to combine small, meaningful units of information. Chunking of instruction is a successful inclusion strategy because confusion is eliminated when students are not overwhelmed with input. Memory is enhanced when smaller numbers of items must be remembered. And frustration is decreased when students know exactly what to do. Instead of remembering one long stream of information, the learner only needs to remember several short strings. Chunking makes instruction easier to remember by reducing the memory load. Key number 5 talks about solicit tellbacks and show mess. Students don't always understand the instruction being given to them. As described in the book, students with ELN often have difficulty with verbal comprehension, and for what clearly are for biological reasons. Tellbacks and show mess are a good inclusion strategy because confusion is eliminated when students know exactly what to do. Memory is enhanced when students repeat back or demonstrate instruction, and metacognition is increased when students know what they have to do, and frustration is eliminated when confusion is eliminated. In Brown, Dunne, and Copper's finding from 1996, the results demonstrated that repeated listening to information with immediate retells produced improvement in delayed retells for 9 out of 10 students. This research supports the tell back and show mess. You are never supposed to ask, do you know what you are supposed to do? What we must do as instructors is repeat the directions 3 times while we have students look directly at us. After this, we can ask students, including one with ELN, and ask them, tell me what you are supposed to do. Then the students repeat to you what you have repeated to them previously. Personally, out of the 5 keys, I believe that key number 5 is the most important. We must acknowledge and be aware that not all students comprehend at the same speed. We also must not single them out, whether it be unintentional by asking them, do you understand what I'm doing? You're kind of putting them in a hard situation, because if you're doing it in front of the class, they are singled out. So it is always best to repeat instruction a couple times and then ask students if what they're to tell students to tell me what you are supposed to do, instead of singling them out in front of the classroom.